What do you know about the Zelda games on CD-i? Do you know a remaster of some of these Zelda games were recently put out by a dedicated fan? How open-minded are you to try these remasters of the games? Let's take a quick few minutes to kick back and talk about it.
This is a review show. This is a review show. You don't have to like it, but I hope you like it.
If you're anything like me, you've played and enjoyed most of the mainstream Zelda games. I'm currently having way more fun than I thought I would with Age of Calamity on the Nintendo Switch. You might also be like me and have never played the Zelda CD-i games, simply because you've never had a CD-i and the games didn't look good enough to justify paying a few $100 for a system that only kind of works. So, how would you feel if you found out someone took the time to take the two action platformer Zelda CD-i games, remaster them for HD, and make them as playable as Zelda 2 is? Just imagine if you can play those right now. I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction to get these. But first, let's break down what these games are. So what is this game? Link, The Faces of Evil, and Zelda, The Wand of Gamelon are both side-scrolling action platformer games released in October of 1993. The main differences between the games are the storylines, with one being you play as the hero we all know, Link, and the other as Zelda herself. Both of these games are the results of Nintendo backing out of a deal with Philips to develop a CD add-on for their Super Nintendo system. In a compromise for backing out of the deal, Nintendo agreed to license their characters for use on Philips' own system, the Philips CD-i. Hence, we get these Zelda games where the action is loosely based on the side-scrolling Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. But we aren't discussing those particular games today. No, today we are talking about a remaster put out by a dev known as Dopply. What's good about these games? You can choose to play this several different ways, including one that simulates a version close to what was released. However, we want to focus on the remastered mode. You can now play in several aspect ratios. Things like frame rate have been greatly improved. Look at how smooth that is. And it controls as good as expected based on what you see here. The hit detection and jumping have both been majorly improved. And of course, everything, including the infamous cutscenes, are in glorious HD now. I mean, they're still sprites and weird looking, but we're talking about HD, baby. Now, what's bad about it? Well, these games are still a turd. A polished turd, yes. In fact, they kept a turd in this game. Look. Oh wait, that's a rope.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Anyway, what I mean by a polished turd is the level design and core mechanics remain the same. For example, I would suggest if you're going to play these games, you start with Link over Zelda, simply because Faces of Evil is so much more straightforward of an experience. Wand of Gamelon is a confusing mess of a story, and it's cryptic as fug. Yeah, I said fug. I'm trying to keep this clean, damn it! During my first playthrough, I had the princess wandering around lost for hours before I figured out you could jump through this window. Nowhere does anyone give you a hint you can do this. Plus, NPCs are always saying stuff you think might give you a clue, but really it means jack squat. So yeah, while these remasters are probably way better than the originals, the treatment has brought the games from terrible to a playable status. But the way I see it is you can try to hunt down a CD-i in both of these Zelda games. You could go through the task of hooking everything up and hoping the moon aligns just right and the games load. Then, even if they do load, you get to deal with the CD-i controller and its flaws, as well as the bad hit detection, slow loading times, and frustrating gameplay. Or, you can load these games on your PC and play HD versions, which show off these amazing cutscenes, as well as enjoy decent hit detection and get a feel for what the developers were probably going for if given less technical restrictions. If you are a fan of Zelda, you probably know Nintendo does not consider these canon, but it is such an interesting piece of history for the series that it's worth downloading and trying out, especially because it's free. By the way, if you're looking for where you can get these games, just check the pinned comment in the comment section of this video. Personally, I have mad respect for passion projects like this and the people behind them. It sets an inspiring example to take another look at something previously thought to be dead in the water in a new light, and appreciate some of the aspects that were previously overlooked. So what do you think? Do these look like they're worth your time? Let's hear what you think in the comments. Please help out the channel and like this video if you like it, dislike it if you didn't, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos on games like this. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.